Welcome to Notable Approvals. I'm attorney Amanda Shaffer. I have another good case to talk about today. Before we get to that, I want to remind you, make sure you like us, follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, subscribe to YouTube so you don't miss any more of our Notable Approval lives or any other of our lives. And on that note, I believe this either Wednesday night or Thursday morning, check back tomorrow. I'll have all the information. I'm going to be doing another Q&A session on domestic violence, and that's because the holidays are coming up and incidence rates of domestic violence severely increased during this time. So we want to make sure if anyone has any questions or last minute things they want to find out before they go see their family, I'll be there to, and maybe our attorney Shapiro will also be there to answer your questions. So today's case is about a client who is a native and citizen of Mali. Excuse me. So this client initially entered the U.S. as an F1 student back in 2010. 2014, he married his U.S. citizen wife, and she then filed an I-130 for him and concurrently filed the I-485. It was approved, and then they only got a 2-year green card since they were married for less than 2 years at the time of the interview. So that meant they needed to file an I-751 petition to remove conditions on residency in that 3-month period before the 2-year anniversary of having his green card, which they timely filed, and they're still married, still living together. That got approved finally in June 2019, and my clients were very excited. The only problem was when he got the actual green card, it was supposed to say he's been a resident since like 2015, but instead it said he's been a resident since 2019. Now he was automatically eligible for citizenship because 3 years had passed. He was still married and living with his spouse, but number one, he had to travel abroad, and having a mistake in your green card when you travel abroad can bring problems. And number two, if USCIS just looked at the green card, they may have rejected it or denied it. So we had to get it fixed. So the way you get it fixed is you file what's called a Form I-90 to fix USCIS error, because this was their fault, not ours, not his. It was their fault. So we did, and you have to send back the original card with the application, which, after waiting so long to get a green card, clients are always a little hesitant about sending back their original green card, which I understand, but there's no other choice. So we did that. Right away, we sent it back in. Then we got a request for evidence, which this was strange. We got a request for evidence in an I-90 telling us that we didn't send them the original card and that a photocopy won't do it. And that was actually a little scary because we know we sent them the original. So if they didn't have it, does that mean they lost it and they're not going to admit they lost it? And, then are you going to issue a new one to replace it with the wrong date, and we're going to have to fix it again? So you never know what to expect. But basically, we responded to the RFE explaining, hey, here's a copy of it. We did send this already. You should have it. And they did approve it. They did send him the corrected card. And then we filed for his naturalization. And we filed for naturalization about a little over a year ago, last summer. And everything was great, but then my client said, I'm going to go abroad. We always tell our clients who are not citizens that if you are going to travel abroad, especially if you have an application pending, make sure you let us know how to get in contact with you. Because if we receive like an interview notice while you're gone, we need to be able to tell you, and we need to know, are you planning to come back, or do we need to ask them to reschedule the interview? So my client was like, no, I want to naturalize, I'm coming back. So we flew back from Africa, but because it's COVID-19 going on right now, he was forced to quarantine for 2 weeks upon return, which meant he couldn't go to the interview 2 days later. So we had him call the 1-800 number and tell them, look, I'm supposed to be quarantining, I shouldn't come in. And fortunately, USCIS told him, you did the right thing, we will reschedule your interview. So first of all, this is good news for anyone sitting out there watching this who is worried about having to go to USCIS office because they're either where they caught COVID-19 or exposed to it, or they're going to break a quarantine rule. Whatever the case may be, they are being decent about it. So if you do have one of these problems, don't freak out that, what am I going to do if I don't go? It's going to get denied. Talk to USCIS, talk to your attorney, call us if you need help, and it'll be okay. So basically, we sent in, so my client called, and then we followed up, of course, with USCIS and said, hey, this case was supposed to be rescheduled. Where is his new interview notice? He wants to naturalize. And then shortly after that, he has his interview. It went great, no problems, and he was approved and is now a U.S. citizen. So my client went through a lot in the process. Whenever you get a document from USCIS that is wrong information, it's a little bit stressful, but you can fix it. And as long as you fix it, and he said to us, can I technically still travel even though it has the wrong date? And we get this question a lot when there are mistakes. And yes, I mean, technically they should be able to look it up in the system and see that you are that person and that, they don't know when it was issued, so they don't know what's wrong. The system, the problem is when they type in your alien registration number, you're at the border, the system will show, okay, green card issued in 2015, and they look at his card and it says 2019, and then at the very least, he's going to secondary inspection. But yes, he should be admitted, but they might just give him a really hard time. They might even parole him if they think there's some issue with the green card. So ideally, you want to get those problems fixed before you leave the country, before you need it for any type of legal purpose to prevent further issues. So that is all today for notable approvals. As I said, make sure to like us, follow us, Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and stuff. And keep your eye out either later today or tomorrow. I'll have an announcement about our next our next Q&A discussion live will be on domestic violence right in time for the holidays, of course. So if you're interested, if you like us and follow us, you should get the announcement. Check back on our website, on Facebook as well, to see when we will be doing it, and send us any questions that you have. We want to make sure everybody has a happy and safe holiday. Thank you all for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with another notable